You know, I want to jump in on this Let's Play news, too, with an opinion piece. I don't know if you heard, but Phil Fish, the infamous independent video game developer that everybody, like, hates and doesn't hate or something, I don't know, came out on Twitter and said, if you generate money from putting my content on your channel, you owe me money. Simple as that. And then, ad revenue should be shared with developers. This should be built into YouTube. Anything else is piracy. Excuse me, basically piracy. And then, after that, he tweeted, as long as we're here, I don't know if you heard, but Sega's coming out with this thing called the Saturn. It looks really neat. And there's like a winky face or whatever. I guess to be more on the nose about it, I don't know who invited Phil Fish to this party. Holy shit, did he show up late, though. This is a conversation we've had more than a few times, so much so that when I saw Total Biscuit made a video on it, without watching it, I was like, I bet you anything he brings up the transformative work thing and the fact that, like, two people can play the game totally differently. I still haven't even watched it. I'm just gambling in this little thing that I'm doing here that he said that. I don't understand, though, because this tweet is from June of 2014. Let's Play in video format on YouTube has been around since 2007, and this has just been going on. This hasn't been in the first time it's in the news. There was even a panel called, an online event called Indie 3 that happened recently. It was like a bunch of, you know, trying to put spotlight on independent games and such. There were even panels sort of prominently talking about Let's Play in independent games. Devolver Studios, people who made Hotline Miami, came out and said, yes, please, put our games on YouTube, monetize the shit out of them, we're totally cool with it. Guy who made Thomas Was Alone actually defended Let's Players against people filing false content IDs on them for the music and such. Even AAA game developers are kind of getting in on it too, like Capcom backed a bunch of Let's Players. Atlas used a couple LPers to promote their games on their official Facebook and such. Developers are really getting behind this thing, and actually have been for a bit, and a couple years ago they didn't really know what to do with it, and, you know, through the whole thing, LPers were kind of unsure on what ground they stood on with showing off the games and such. But we've had this discussion, and Fish's arguments about how you wouldn't do it for movies, etc. It's just so old. Like, yeah, we brought that up, Phil. We talked about it. You know, I don't understand what internet capsule you woke up from to decide, like, oh, wait a second here, you know, this YouTube thing, I gotta see what's going on here. I can only guess it had to do with the whole PewDiePie making $4 million thing. If you really feel like Fez was a big part of that cake, all you have to do is tell people, which I guess you kinda did, but, you know, don't monetize Fez. And you know what? Actually, I think most people on YouTube respect that. You know, they do listen to things like that. I know there are a few who don't, but fortunately, you know, I know you said in your tweet, this should be built into YouTube. It is. There's this whole content ID match system. You can just automatically take the money yourself, you know, if you really want to, if people don't listen to you. I wanted to keep this under 5 minutes because it's such a stupid issue. I don't even know why it's an issue. You know, it's like somebody who used to have some infamy, and I guess still does have that infamy, gave a totally uninformed opinion about an issue that's kind of been settled. I won't say wholly settled, it's just, I don't know. I feel like this is akin to me knocking on Phil's door and saying, by the way, I've got a movie about independent games I want you to star in. It comes out next year. Get it? Good. Now to watch porno.